Alain-Claude Bilibinze, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Gabon, was received in audience by the President of the Republic, Ali Bongo Ondimba, the head of the Gabonese diplomacy returning from the 12th Extraordinary Summit of the African Union in Niger, came to give an account of his mission to the head of state. British former Prime Minister Theresa May says she deeply regrets that Kim Darroch felt it necessary to step down as ambassador to Washington. In his reports published in the press on Saturday, Kim Darroch judged Donald Trump unstable and incompetent and the American administration unique in its dysfunction. The National Basketball Association, the International Basketball Federation, and the Senegalese Basketball Federation will host the 17th edition of Basketball Without Borders Africa in Senegal, an opportunity for African basketball to be under the spotlight of the world basketball. That's all for our top stories today. Stay tuned for more details in this newscast. Ali Bongo Ondimba has issued a new presidential decree to groom the security of Gabon, and consequently a number of senior members of the defense forces have been promoted. While the National Security Council's permanent secretariat was the only one affected by these changes, the case was different for other command bodies. Appointments that usually occur at the end of a cabinet meeting, these times it seems urgent for the president to proceed rather by presidential decree. These changes concern the Ministries of the Interior, the Directorate General for Documentation and Immigration, and General Inspectorate of the Police Forces, the Ministry of Defense, Intelligence Directorate and Military Engineering, and the Presidency of the Republic, the National Security Council. Alain-Claude Bilibinze, the Foreign Affairs Minister of Gabon, was received in audience by the President of the Republic, Ali Bongo Ondimba. The Gabonese diplomacy's head came to give an account to the head of state of Gabon of his mission in Niamey upon returning from the 12th Extraordinary Summit of the African Union in Niger. Alain-Claude Bilibinze also took the opportunity to condense to the head of state the level of progress of the reforms of the Economic Community of Central African States. I have come to give the President of the Republic an account of the mission I just carried out in Niamey, Niger. As part of the Extraordinary Summit of the African Union, it was a summit to validate the entry into force of the Continental Free Trade Area. Gabon has signed and Gabon has ratified. We have had the opportunity to formally table our instrument of ratification of this Continental Free Trade Area. I also conveyed to the head of state the messages of his peers, his counterparts, who kindly wished him speedy recovery, best wishes, and above all, wishes for full activity for our country, he said. The Gabonese Foreign Affairs Minister Alain-Claude Bilibinze added that he also gave the head of state Ali Bongo Ondimba an update on the level of progress of ECA's reforms, of which he is the president in office and of which Gabon is the headquarters. These are issues that are progressing very well and for which the head of state has been very attentive and has given clear instructions to be implemented. Accused of manslaughter for causing a traffic accident in which 2 people were killed, South African justice finally released this Friday Duduzane Zuma, the son of former President Jacob Zuma. A court in Johannesburg ruled him not guilty of the charges against him.
So the court has found that Mr. Zuma's evidence was consistent, quite the opposite of what it found from the evidence of the state witnesses. So as the NPA, we are satisfied. We have done our best. The prosecutor, Mr. Yusuf Baba, gave it his best shot, and at the end of the day, if the court ruled otherwise, unfortunately, there is nothing that we can do as the NPA.
In February 2014, the young man, 35 years old today, had hit a minibus in Johannesburg behind the wheel of his Porsche. One of the passengers had died instantly, and a second had died in hospital as a result of his injuries. 3 other people were injured in the collision. Duduzane has always denied the charges against him. The case quickly took a political turn after the initial decision by the procurer's office not to pursue the son of the then head of state. A lobby group known for defending the interests of the country's white minority had, however, obtained the reopening of the case. I'm glad that this trial is over and that my son's attitude was not considered irresponsible, said Jacob Zuma, who was attending the court hearing on Friday. But Duduzane Zuma is also implicated in several corruption cases targeting his father, notably for his ties with the sultry siblings of businessmen called Gupta. Jacob Zuma, his father, is scheduled to appear on Monday before the commission investigating the scandals under his presidency from 2009 to 2018. Last Wednesday, African Union called for the adoption of national action plans on women, peace and security to strengthen the role of women in conflict resolution. The consequences of conflicts are devastating, including gender equality. Women are often less able to protect themselves than men. Together with children, they generally make up the majority of refugees or displaced populations. They are the recurring targets of war tactics such as sexual violence. They are most kept away from peace negotiations, although they are the head of peaceful movements and initiators of community recovery after conflicts. Excluded from reconstruction process, women are less likely to return to normal life, obtain justice for violations of human rights, and contribute to the reform of laws and public institutions. At a World Peace Forum in Nairobi, the AU Specialist Envoy for Women, Peace and Security, Benita Diop, said that 27 African states have so far developed plans in this area: Libya, Mali, Nigeria, Democratic Republic of Congo, Sudan. From the Maghreb to the Horn of Africa, from West to Central Africa, the conflicts and wars that plague the African continent regularly make the front page of media. National action plans must be endorsed by the parliaments concerned so that they are generalized by governments. Women should have a seat at the table of senior leaders when important decisions are being debated in terms of conflict resolution and peace building. According to the African Union, a real political will would be enough. In the midst of a diplomatic storm, British Ambassador to the United States Kim Darroch resigned on Wednesday due to the leak of diplomatic cables in which he describes Donald Trump's administration as unique in its dysfunction, a decision that Theresa May, British Prime Minister, regrets.
Mr. Speaker, this morning I have spoken to Sir Kim Darroch. I have told him that it is a matter of great regret that he has felt it necessary to leave his position as ambassador in Washington.
Named in the notes of Kim Darroch, Donald Trump warned on Monday and then on Tuesday that he would no longer work with him. Kim Darroch, 65 years old, is one of the most experienced British diplomats with a long career of 42 years. He arrived in Washington in January 2016 before Donald Trump's victory as president.
The whole cabinet rightly gave its full support to Sir Kim on Tuesday. Sir Kim has given a lifetime of service to the United Kingdom, and we owe him an enormous debt of gratitude.
British Prime Minister Theresa May, who will step down at the end of this month, renewed her support for Kim Darroch on Tuesday. The 17th edition of Basketball Without Borders will take place from the 28th to the 31st of July in Senegal. The event will bring together African top players aged 17 and under, who will have the opportunity to learn directly from NBA players and those of the International Basketball Federation, as well as coaches and world basketball legends. BWB Africa has already been held in South Africa from 2003 to 2018, Senegal in 2010, and Angola in 2016. Over 1,000 players from more than 30 African countries participated in the NBA and FIBA's Global Basketball Development Programs. Former BWB Africa participants having been drafted into the NBA, including the 2019 NBA champion Pascal Siakam from Cameroon in 2012, Cameroonian Joel Embiid from Philadelphia in 2011, Luc Mba, formerly with the Clippers in 2003, and Senegal Gorgui Dieng of Minnesota Timberwolves in 2009. Beyond the sporting fact, the event has a charitable aspect. Through NBA Cares, the National Basketball Association has developed 87 homes for children and families to learn and play in 7 African countries. Alain-Claude Bilibinze, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Gabon, was received in audience by the President of the Republic, Ali Bongo Ondimba, the head of the Gabonese diplomacy returning from the 12th Extraordinary Summit of the African Union in Niger, came to give an account of his mission to the head of state. British former Prime Minister Theresa May says she deeply regrets that Kim Darroch felt it necessary to step down as ambassador to Washington. In his reports published in the press on Saturday, Kim Darroch judged Donald Trump unstable and incompetent and the American administration unique in its dysfunction. The National Basketball Association, the International Basketball Federation, and the Senegalese Basketball Federation will host the 17th edition of Basketball Without Borders Africa in Senegal, an opportunity for African basketball to be under the spotlight of the world basketball. That's the end of our newscast of the day, but keep watching Gabon 24 for further news.